And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you shouldn't troll. Yep. Hey guys, Alex here, otherwise known as Clash of Style, and in today's video we are going to be jumping in to check out Brian Fan Club coming in against Hydrogen Gaming. Now this war was pretty hyped up, as you can see from those comments at the start from Cobbs and some of the BFC guys. There was a little bit of beef going over for this war, and I was pretty excited to check it out, so I came in here and I recorded the recap, and well, I think it speaks for itself. Alright, so the first attack we are going to be jumping in to check out here comes in from Hertha of Brian Fan Club, coming in against, yep, Cobbs, who was the one that was stirring up that pot, causing a little bit of that beef, and Hertha decided to come in straight away and, well, smack him about a little bit. And he's going to be coming in here with a Sui Lalo attack. You can see we do have a couple of those invisibility spells going to be coming in. We've got that king swinging on through from that 9 o'clock section. The queen now going to be coming in behind that ice golem as well, looking ideally to probably get that queen to step up and into that town hall compartment, just to get that town hall out of the way nice and quickly is always going to be ideal in pretty much any attack. You're going to see that king kind of wander off by himself on that top section of the base, but he was able to create a really nice funnel there, making sure the queen steps exactly where Hertha wants her to go, which is into that town hall to take it down and secure that first star on the board. But we're not only just going to sell for 1 stars, we're going to go all out here. We have to make sure we bring in the 3 stars on Cobbs of all people. So you're going to see that queen get a little bit of damage there onto the enemy royal champion. Unfortunately not quite able to take her down completely. But that is the play that that was a stunning play coming in there from Hertha. He hesitates on the Royal Champion trick. He's then going to use his zap spells not only to take down the Inferno Towers with that Earthquake, but also to catch those headhunters from the CC. We do have a couple of those super minions that we're now going to have to deal with. However, we've got that poison spell to go down on them. We're now going to throw in that Eternal Tome ability with 3 headhunters to come on through. Those are going to take care of the enemy queen nice and quickly, and the poison spell finally going to deal with those super minions over on that left hand side of the base. So we can now fully focus all of our efforts onto continuing to push this Lalo through from this right hand side. We've got plenty of spells. In fact, we've probably got too many spells here for Hertha on the back end of this one. We do have the Stone Slammer, of course, going to be coming in here on the back end. Not only is it going to be doing some serious damage, but it's going to be doing a great job at tanking here for that scatter shot as these balloons continue to make their way through. There is, however, the issue of this air defense down here at the bottom section of the base. So Hertha, of course, going to be saving a couple of free spells that he can use on them. He also has an invisibility spell, which is going to be interesting to see when that invisibility spell comes into play. Unfortunately, we're going to see a red bomb take down the majority of our cleanup troops in the center of the base, so that may be a little bit of an issue here. I think timing actually was a bit of a factor on this one for Hertha, but we're going to see plenty of balloons left up here on the back end, and a pretty dominating triple coming in here for Hertha. This was the first one in this war, and this certainly put the marker down for BFC to bring in the win against Hydrogen Gaming. But no, it doesn't end there. Hertha's going to add even more insult to injury. There is the invisibility spell coming down on the last build, and this man is really going all out to just throw salt in that wound. And Hertha brings in a very nice triple with a little bit of trolling there at the end. Alright, so the next attack we're going to jump in here and check out comes in from Grom of BFC. Now, I've covered him a little bit on the channel recently, and he is a god with Dragbat. Definitely one of my idols, I think, when it comes to Dragbat. I love myself a good Dragbat. I talk about it a lot on this channel, and Grom, I think he's one of the strongest Dragbat players I've seen. No, that was not a competition to see how many times I could say Dragbat in a row, but I certainly, I did rattle off a few of them there. But we're going to see the king and queen with an ice golem coming in from this left-hand side of the base. The king, unfortunately, is going to be doing most of the tanking here. Ideally, we would have had that ice golem step a little bit further out in the way, but the king has a lot of HP on him, so he can soak up a lot of that damage. The ice golem going to eventually end up popping right there. That's going to allow this queen to get some serious work done over on this left hand side of the base. Does need to keep an eye on her ability. There it is coming in right there. She, with her ability, is going to be able to take care of that enemy queen. Might be able to snag this expo as well. No, unfortunately, she is going to end up going down. But we've got all of these dragons and those balloons now going to be swinging on through. A couple coming in from that 12 o'clock section to help create the funnel and jump themselves onto that scattershot nice and quickly. And then we've got another group of them making their way through this left hand side of the base. We're going to see a couple of those clan castle troops coming out right there. It looks like there is going to be a lava hound in there as well, so as long as we don't get any ground troops in radius, we should be absolutely a-okay to avoid getting these dragons lured to a place that we just don't want them to be. We're going to see the blimp unfortunately getting caught by that tornado trap. Looks like it was pretty heavily baited, but we're going to go ahead there. Luckily just manages to avoid those Seeking Airlines for long enough. Rage Bell goes down, and with the balloons and that dragon, they're able to snag the town hall nice and quickly. Now you might be thinking this one is starting to fade out a little bit, and well, it is, but we still have the Royal Champion and we have all of these bat spells to come in through on the back end. We're going to use our Royal Champion to take care of one of those wizard towers, and then we're going to let the other ones be dealt with those free spells. To be honest, we probably could have swagged plenty of spells here on the back end for Grom, but he's going to throw them down on this Tesla farm, as they can do a little bit of chip damage onto these massive clumps of bats. But with the Royal Champion still with her ability in hand, should be able to tidy up the remainder of this base pretty nicely. We're going to see that Seeking Shield ability coming in right there, which means we actually completely avoid the king on this right hand side. Well, of course, as soon as I say that, the Royal Champion is going to go ahead and try and deal with him, but we had this huge bat wave swinging through on the back end, and that is going to be a nice triple on the board for Grom coming in against Chuff. Alright, so the next one we're going to take a look at comes in for the Super Witch Wizard that is Delanator. This man is an absolute god with these Super Witches, and that's exactly what he's going to be using today. We're going to see the Earthquake going down nice and early on this left hand side, then throwing in those zaps behind, able to get a nice chunk of damage done onto the enemy Royal Champion as well, which is always going to be of benefit. We're going to see one Tesla, just one Tesla popping up over on this left hand side of the base, the Royal Champion. Just about far enough out of range of this Grand Warden that it's not going to cause too many issues. Remember, we have already taken a little bit of HP off her. King now going to be coming in from this bottom section of the base. We've got a jump spell swinging on through as well. We do have this scatter shot lurking quite far onto the outside of the base that's going to be doing some serious damage onto our troops pretty early on here. So I'm going to be interested to see what Delanator actually does to deal with this scatter shot, and he's just going to let his Super Witches wander in there, not committing any spells too early on. Those Super Witches did have the healers transfer from the Grand Warden over to them nice and early on in this attack. The Queen on her own is going to be able to step up there. We're going to drop down a beautiful use of that Rage Bell coming in to help make sure the Queen's going to snag the Town Hall, and those healers are going to keep those Super Witches as they make their way into the middle of the base on full HP. A really nice use of that Eternal Tome ability there, catching the majority of our troops as we now bring in the Hog Riders from that Siege Barracks and the Royal Champion on this left hand side of the base. Unfortunately, they're going to hit the bomb tower, and then a triple giant bomb over on this left hand side. So that triple giant bomb, of course, is going to be put in place there to stop the hybrids, to stop the Hog Riders out of the Siege Barracks, but it wasn't able to quite do its job. The Hogs with the Royal Champion were still able to get a load of value, and as they were doing that up the left hand side of the base, you're going to see these Super Witches and Queen combination doing some huge work through the center and then pushing over to this right hand side of the base, and Delanator doing what he just does so often, and it is bringing in those triples with these Super Witches. To be honest, I think I've only ever seen one war where Delanator has not used Super Witches and he used dragons. I think it was a Blizzard Dragon attack, and he still tripled with it. So Delanator is a really, really strong hitter. But I think when needs must, he does like to experiment, and he is going to try different strategies. But why not do what you know, and that is Super Witches for Delanator. Alright, so the last attack of this video, of course, is going to be Russell coming in here against Old McDonald, who is one of the best Legends League pushers I've actually seen. He competed in the Alpha League Legends League pushing event. I remember always seeing his name up there, so he's a pretty good attacker. But let's see how his base is going to hold here, coming in against Russ, who, as we know, is a very, very strong hitter indeed. Rage Bell going to be coming in there. That is going to allow this Yeti Blimp to get some nice value up on this top section of the base. You're going to see pretty much this entire 12 o'clock compartment getting taken out right there. Those... Look at that. The Yeti Might's not even going to stop just in that 12 o'clock compartment. They're also going to jump the wall and take out the Wizard Tower, getting some really, really nice value early on in this attack. Is Russ, unfortunately there, it looked like the Queen was starting to get pulled off to this left-hand side just a little bit. So we are going to have to maybe react on the fly there. We're going to go ahead, drop down a couple of those funneling troops on the left-hand side. Poison Spell going to go down for those lava pups. That should help the Queen to get through them nice and quickly. Beautiful use of that Super Wall Breaker, going exactly where Russ wanted it to go, opening up that Town Hall compartment. Even though there is a little bit of a gap in that wall, sometimes you just cannot rely on the Queen's AI to actually make her go in there. So she is going to be able to propel her way, hopefully here for Russ, into that Town Hall compartment, get things nice and set up, and then we can start thinking about creating this funnel with our King and then pushing in our hybrid. So the angle that Russ has came at with his Queen Charge here, it means that those healers are going to be way out of range of the Giga Inferno. That can toast through healers very, very quickly if given the opportunity. So a really smart play coming in there from Russ, making sure that he got that angle correct and he wasn't going to lose his healers too early on. We're going to see a very, very early Seeking Shield ability. Not too sure if that was meant there from Russ. His World Champion ability getting popped way earlier than we would usually see it coming in, but he's going to make sure he gets these heal spells and he gets that Eternal Tome down at the right time. We're going to see the Queen have to go to ability, I would imagine, on this left hand side of the base, even with that rage spell going down on her. Yep, there's the ability coming in, and the hybrid is going to continue wreaking havoc through this base. Now the Royal Champion, most of the time when we see her coming in with the hybrid, it's going to be when those Hog Riders appear out with the siege barracks towards the back end of the attack. But of course we used a Yeti blimp here to kick off proceedings, so we just brought in the Royal Champion with our hybrid portion of the attack, and she gets so much value here for Russ. She really does rip through the center of the base with those hogs, with those miners, and is probably one of the strongest allies that Russ had in this attack. And that is a beautiful way to finish off this video, a very, very sexy hybrid triple. So yeah, that was the story of Brian Fan Club coming in against Hydrogen Gaming. I think it's fair to say you should not smack talk the guys in Brian Fan Club, because they're going to go ahead and put up a 14-star war against you. The final result of this one was 14 stars for Brian Fan Club against 11 from Hydrogen Gaming. Hydro did get a little bit unlucky with a couple of their attacks, but you cannot beef up Brian Fan Club and not expect him to come out guns blazing and put up one hell of a performance. So GG's again to the guys in Brian Fan Club for that awesome war. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a comment down below which one of those 4 attacks was your favourite. Were you rooting for Brian Fan Club? Were you rooting for Hydrogen Gaming? Let me know. Leave a like on the video too. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying these YouTube shorts I've been putting out. It's a little bit of a different style of video for me, just experimenting with different content and whatnot, trying to keep these daily uploads coming out. But yeah, subscribe too if you guys haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.